This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. While MeUndies can't totally help your love life this Valentine's Day, they can offer you insanely comfy undies and loungewear to buy or gift. MeUndies has so many awesome Valentine's Day prints and styles. Plus, you can match with your partner, friends, or even your pets. This Valentine's Day, give the gift that'll keep them thinking of you and score huge site-wide savings at MeUndies.com/Spotify. That's MeUndies.com/Spotify. MeUndies. Comfort from the outside in.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Right, let's get this show on the road. See you later, boss. Have a good one. Cheers, thanks, mate. Right, welcome. And, well, Bradford City have won 2-1. Ossie Debe scoring and then somehow coming the villain by getting sent off, but no idea how he got sent off. Does anybody want to talk about anything? If anyone wants to say anything, put a request in and we'll get this started. I'm flying solo today, so it might be a short one. Oh, we've got a request. Should be connecting. Yeah, all right, Stan.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm buzzing, mate. I'm just coming out of the ground now.
Excellent.
And Ossie Debe, hero or villain, I don't know what he really got sent off for.
Yeah, I was watching it on iFollow, and basically, I think their lads put a focus. He's gone in, and then, like, when he's down on the ground, apparently pushed his head into the ground, and Paddy's basically taken exception to that and gone rushing in. So, as always, it's always a retaliator. Although I suppose he wasn't directly involved, so it's probably why it's a straight exit.
Sorry, train's just going past.
Yeah.
So have you got any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think it's kind of continuing. It's kind of, I mean, Brad is an absolute monster, isn't he? He plays like 2/3 of a game. And, he's up there as bad match. And I tell you what, the young lad as well. The young lad, Freddie, was it? Surname, sorry.
Is it Jeffers or Jefferson or Jeffers?
Something like that, yeah.
I pronounce his name correctly.
As well, so yeah, it's quite promising. But yeah, I think some good sort of performances. Taylor didn't look too bad actually. I mean, he looked. Yeah, I still have him down the pecking order, but he didn't look anywhere near as bad as he did against the Ballers. So.
It seemed like he had lead in his boots though today. First 10 minutes or so, and his passing were a bit off from where I was.
No, you're probably right, because I kind of I sort of missed some of the game because I'd kind of a bit of work, but yeah, I mean, although wasn't he basically caught chasing the guy when the ball came in for their goal as well? So
who would you say I know you only saw a bit of the game, but who would you say, who was your man of the match? Who you saw? Or what part of the game you saw?
From what I've seen, again, Brad, he came onto the pitch and he's going forward. You know, he's been a real threat and inside to Smallwood or big. So my money, Brad. I mean, again, when they were kind of coming through, you know, a young lad of theirs who's got pace, and he just gets back and just, you know, deals with him. Yeah, I'd say, Brad, what about yourself?
I thought, like Bobby pointed again, he played well. Yeah. Going down the wings again. The team, I know when even Kelly, I was shocked when he scored. But I wasn't on a best when he scored. Kelly first. But I know it's most of it was like the B team, should we say? But
Yeah.
every player thought played well.
Yeah.
Shackles are off again, and Old McDonald's doing well, playing the team and picking the team.
Yeah, for me, we need big Kev on the field. I think he's too good a player to be in the dugout just yet. But obviously, the way we're playing the last couple of games, whether it's because of massive sort of weight lifted off the players or whatever. But yeah, definitely, and Wilson didn't look too bad as well. So I think because Grimsby weren't a bad side. They were sort of passing it about themselves, and they were playing some good passing moves. But I felt the way we dealt with them, and I watched most of the second half as well, and about 2/3 of the first half. So I think it's a deserved result. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to join, I'm also looking for a co-host for today only. So it'll be probably about a 30-minute one instead of a full hour one. So if anyone wants to do co-host with me, that means I can start travelling home. If not, I'll be stuck in Grimsby for another 30 minutes. Does anyone else want to say anything? Have you got anything else to say, Stanley? Or Stan, sorry?
Yeah, basically, not much, but really, other than it was a good all-round performance. I think, like you say, we pretty much. I mean, I'm sure their team was like a mixed team as well, but I think it was definitely good performance by us. I missed Paddy's goal actually. I kind of came down sort of stairs 5 minutes into it. Yeah, sort of not much to say other than it was basically, sort of interesting combo with Big Kev Smallwood in the middle. I think, obviously, like it's been said at the weekend, I think Smallwood must have had some sort of falling out or something with Hughes. I'm sure there's many things he could have had a fallout with because he's been awful for most of this year, apart from a couple of games. But the last couple of games he seems to have been rejuvenated. So again, whether that's like just a weight off his shoulders, or just kind of whatever reason, but he does seem to have these last two games had a lot better game.
Because I've retweeted the goal from I can't remember his name, but it's like the Argentinian channel. I think I've retweeted that.
Latin American bantam.
That's it.
Yeah.
And also, if anyone can see it, also I've tweeted out the video of Ossie Davey little dance he had on the go. All right, 2 seconds, see if this works. I'm going to plug you back into car. So hopefully you should be speaking out of the car. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, minus the Grimsby easterly wind sort of thing. Yeah, it's a lot better. Is that? So, what were your thoughts on the game? Your overall thoughts. Is it? Is it? I've just got Johnny. Is it Johnny Bray? Sorry.
It's gone on. There we go. Yeah, Johnny. So
Johnny. Johnny. Yeah.
So with the team, we played well. The B team played well, shall we say? I had a couple of first players in. Ossie Davey getting sent off, so I think he's possibly going to miss. He'll miss probably Saturday now. What he's been sent off.
Well, the commentary was saying that I think any kind of red cards, apply to this competition alone. I think, from what they were saying, because I think Simon Parker answered Jamie Rayner on that one. So, yeah. So I don't know the answer to that, but go ahead anyway. Sorry, Johnny.
So, do you think he would stick with the same, not the team who played today, but the team who played last Saturday? Do you think he'll stick with the same team for that game?
That's a good question. I think obviously same sort of formation. I think it's something that for most part we've played with over the last 2 or 3 seasons anyway, because we played that with Truman as well. So I would say yes, probably. Obviously, so we had, I mean, he's obviously kind of happy to play the youngsters. I mean, obviously Bobby's kind of come in and done that all season, but the young lad as well. So I think that's kind of. I think it depends on basically who's anywhere near the sort of like the squad, because I mean, I'm kind of thinking, well, what's happened to the lad from Norwich? He must kind of, I don't know how well he's training or whether he's not fitting into any kind of systems or whatever. But
I think he couldn't play today or Saturday because he's currently in America, I think, with the under 21s.
Right, yeah, right, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. That's cool.
Are you going to the game on Saturday or anything, or were you
No,
watching the game Saturday?
I'm sort of. It's probably one I'm going to miss. I've been to them all so far, and just got a few things on at the weekend. But I mean, because from by all accounts, Wimbledon weren't great at the weekend anyway. So I thought we'd do well to get a point down there, but maybe we should be kind of going for a win. So I take it you're going.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm taking a couple of mates down with me on the Saturday, picking them up, and we're going to drive there. I've booked a parking spot on someone's driveway for that, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm glad we won today. And the crowd today the Bradford City fans were good. Got a few chants going and stuff. So I think about 750 or something fans there altogether. A bit poor for an EFL game, but we've won. I think we're second. We've got like 2 or 3 games in hand.
Yeah, I think we took about 180. I went to the Burton away last year, and that was obviously dire. But sort of kudos to the fans that went over tonight. So, what's your thoughts for Saturday yourself? Would you play that same team as Saturday, as last Saturday, or would you?
I would
tweak
play.
It,
I would play the same as Saturday. I think did Osadema play last Saturday? Or he on
no,
bench?
I don't. Do you know what? I'm not sure that he was even on the bench. He may have been, but I don't remember him playing. He may have done. Did he come on late for Sunday?
I think he came on late. It's like from my perspective today, the team who played today completely beat him. Even Doyle played. I thought, giving everybody a rest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we didn't do with Harry last year, were it? That we played him in every game. And I'm assuming to kind of keep a solid backline, but obviously come the end of the season when you're playing 50-odd games, you run the risk of picking up injuries or losing a bit of form or just a bit of fatigue at the end of it. But I thought Kelly did well, actually. Overall, his kind of performance was solid. And I thought Oyegoki played well on Saturday, but I didn't think he played to that same level tonight.
He's gone off injured today, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, sort of prior to coming off injured, I felt it wasn't maybe right back isn't the position for him. Even though he's probably come to us as a right back, but he did play better as a kind of right-sided midfielder, sort of winger type thing on Saturday. I thought his actual his touches, his ball control, etc., and all the kind of like simple passes that he made on Saturday were much better. The best he's been all season in that sort of right-sided position. Tonight he kind of fell short of the standards he set on Saturday. But if he continues to sort of play anywhere near like he did on Saturday, then he'll be a good kind of squad player. But I don't think he's near the first team for me. I don't know what you think to that.
There's a few of them, I think. It's like, I know Ash, I keep going on about it, but Ash Taylor today, he couldn't even pass. He went out of play twice or so, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. Do you know what? When I said he played well, it's probably what I meant by that was that overall he wasn't a liability. Maybe that's, it's a low bar really, but it's kind of, again, I think that's a signing that it is kind of like a Championship manager signing where it's basically, sort of looking at stats and not actually looking at the player, because he's, from what I've seen, he's the sort of player that is kind of trying to pass balls through the channels or whatever, but doesn't have the actual passing range, and so the ball gets recycled quite a lot from his kind of forward, sort of forward passes. But I thought overall he didn't do too badly, but I think he's definitely behind Platt and Stubbs anyway in the pecking order. So I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his future is. I mean, if he, again, it's his first game since the first game of the season, so he might argue on his part that sort of like he needs to play himself into form. I don't know, but it's kind of a luxury he doesn't really have, because obviously he's down in the pecking order, or at least not in the sort of the first two. So he probably has to rely on the EFL trophy.
Yeah, so I think that's what City are using the EFL trophy for, really. They're like the B team, so we say, like Doyle playing, Kelly playing. It's obviously you have to keep your players fit, and they've gone out there today and they've shown passion and charisma and stuff by playing well-ish, like scoring, like Osadebe coming on scoring, getting the winner, should we say? Then last 5 minutes at game, his head goes, and then by all accounts, because we were speaking to someone at the end of the game, that is push somebody and then smack their head against like the floor, and that's what's caused the big punch up in the middle of the pitch, or at the far end of the pitch.
Right. So it must have been like in the melee, because prior to that, the incident was with, I think it was a Foka, and who got fouled, and the lad pushed his head into the floor, and then Paddy came rushing in, and then in that sort of melee, that's perhaps when he's done what he's done, because it was difficult to see on the TV, because obviously there's kind of a big sort of scrum of players, but obviously the fourth officials, I think, got involved, and the lino, because the referee seemed to consult them. So that's, I can only sort of speculate that's what's happened, but he was nowhere near the original incident. And their players obviously just got away with a yellow card, but technically, if that player has put his hand to the face or the head of a City player, even though he's on the floor, then given I'm guessing, given the letter of the law, then that's a red as well. But I mean, fortunately, it's not kind of, it's only the EFL, but if you can't be having players sent off, because obviously you need everybody available. So I'm assuming it was for violent conduct, because it was a straight red.
It's like it lightened the mood up, though. It gave the game a bit of an excitement, because I'm not going to lie, I've nearly fallen asleep. How the team played well. It's just like you sat there and
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
we need entertaining. Having a couple of yawns, and then that happened, and it woke me up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think Grimsby getting a bit frustrated at that point, because we were in control, I feel, as well. I mean, to be fair, I didn't feel worried about the last sort of few minutes anyway, but at that point we weren't as fluid, because obviously we'd made so many changes, but I didn't feel like they were getting in behind us, or that it was like an equaliser's looming or anything like that. It was just more a case of just see the game out. So Yeah, it is what it is, you know.
And it was nice that I can never pronounce his name. I think is it Elsa or Elsa? Elsa?
Issa, Abu
Issa.
Issa.
Issa, yeah, he got a nice round of applause when he came past. So
Yeah,
football's a bit like that sometimes, isn't it? Where you get like City rejects, but he got applause from the fans.
Yeah. I mean, he never got to show what he could do for us because obviously he was injured for most part. So I think probably like a lot of players at this level, they'll have their inconsistencies, and that's why they're at this level. But yeah, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong for us, so there's no reason for him to get any stick from City fans.
If anyone else wants to speak, just put a request in. If anyone's just joining, I'm flying solo today. So I should be back to normal on Saturday where we'll have another co-host. But if anyone wants to put a request in or say anything, you know what to do. You got any more thoughts on it, Stan?
Not really. No, it's just like it's just a sort of an EFL game that's a good sort of run out for like fringe players, really, and give game time and it's actually good to kind of give the fringe players like 4 or 5 games in these games, so that when it comes to first team football, they're kind of up to speed. Parky was really good at that. He would kind of sort of shift players around or put in like players for like 3-4 games before like any major league games or anything, and he was quite good in that. So I imagine that's that's kind of what was done there tonight. But in terms of who you'd like to see who as manager, do you have any thoughts on that?
I can never pronounce the names correctly. Not the Crawley brothers, the other brothers.
Oh, the Cowley.
Cowleys, that's it. Cowleys, yeah. Cowley brothers. Hope to get them in. Or Neil Warnock or Sam Allardyce, but
yeah, I mean they're not. Yeah, I mean Warnock's not going to come to us, and yeah, to be honest, I say I don't care. I mean, there are maybe 1 or 2 people I wouldn't go for, but I think what we've got to do though is get somebody in that we've got a squad of players that can actually play, and we've got to have a continuation because we did that with when Rahic put in Collins and then assembles a squad of players that seemingly can play football. Then Hopkins comes in and then he's like hoofball and he ain't got the squad for it. And then we go back
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll have a new manager in, or do you think it'll still be Kevin?
I think it'll still be, well, I mean, what is it, on Tuesday? I think it'll be Kev, but even if somebody comes in, we'll probably, he'd probably give it to Truman on the sidelines, Yeah, I imagine it'll be after next week. I don't know why I'm saying that, but, I'm just going off of the hints that, or the messages that's come out of Valley Parade, that basically there's been a lot of candidates that have applied for it. I just hope that, you hope every time that they make the correct decision, but I think they've got to think of the squad that's already here and somebody that will get the best out of them in terms of playing a style of football similar to what we do, but obviously, as the fans are sort of calling out for it, and everyone would like more attacking football. But yeah, utilising the squad we've got rather than kind of changing the style completely. So I don't know the answer. And, do you go for somebody that's up and coming? The lad at Barrow's been mentioned, but from what I've seen, I mean, whether it's because he was at Barrow, but he seemed to have this thing that they came to shut up shop. And maybe that might be because, in their view, they like it's them against the world or whatever. But somebody that, because obviously the criticism of Hughes was that he was playing too much from the back, etc., or just too boring football. But you've got to have somebody that can handle this pressure, because obviously this is a bit of a poison chalice as managers go, especially over the last few years. So my view is I don't know, and I don't care for most part, as long as there's a continuation and actually getting out the squad. The potential. That's my thoughts on that one.
Does anyone else want to request anything? Also, just to let everybody know, this space will go out onto podcasts like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, and every other podcasting sites round. So if you miss it or you want to listen to it on the way back from a game or back next game, you can listen to it. So has anyone else got anything to say? Anyone want to put a request in? Chris, anyone? Andy? Richard? Sam? Harvey? Anyone want to say anything? Make a request? What else? So with the team today, who do you think any one of them will start? Or the bench? Any of the youths, do you reckon, will be on the bench on Saturday for Wimbledon?
From today's game, that were like fringe players.
Yes.
I can't see it. I think the majority will be from last Saturday. And then maybe, because Taylor was on the bench on Saturday, and I think that's down to just having a, sort of kind of like wiping the slate clean and giving everyone a chance. But I suspect it's probably going to be most of, if not the same team as Saturday.
Have you got anything to add to it, Richard, sir?
I was just going to mention about Ossadebe being sending off.
Go for it, mate.
It's a clear sending off. And there's people on Twitter in meltdown saying it's not sending off. He's grabbing the lad round the throat. It's a clear sending off. It's as simple as that. It's idiotic behaviour. 2 minutes to go in game. I'm sure it was 88th or something like that. It's silly. Absolutely silly. He's a professional and he should be keeping his head. And again, some City fans are on the other planet, I think, when they're watching stuff like this. Bizarre. But yeah, very, very silly. But what I did like is McDonald, he were on the pitch grabbing everyone back. Clearly after an incident like that, all players are piling in, everyone's getting involved, and you could end up with 2-3 sending off. McDonald's on the pitch, he's grabbing them all back. That's a leader. That is a someone who's got a sensible, mature head, and he's sorting them out. And he's getting involved, and I thought it was good to see, to be honest. Going on about managers, keep him going. If he wants it, keep it going. He's doing what he's told to do. Win football games, 2 wins. We keep going on about it. We haven't got the money. How much does it cost us to get rid of Hughes? No one knows that, and we'll never know. But we're never going to have any funds behind us, are we? Do we get someone else in? They change stuff around. It don't quite work, and we finish mid-table. We're not going to know about the finances, but it's not going to look good, is it? We're going to have to pay someone decent money. Just see how we gets on. That's what I say. Can't do any worse.
Have you been watching the game on iFollow? Did you say sorry?
I've watched it today. Yeah.
On iFollow.
Yeah.
What did you make of the team in general today? I
thought they did really well. I thought that the whole confidence around them, how they're carrying themselves at minute. Clearly, Hughes has had a bad omen, didn't he? It wasn't working. The whole how they were doing day-to-day stuff. We're not there, are we, day-to-day? But clearly it wasn't working. Whatever they're doing in training and what's going on wasn't working. And his fresh face, he clearly liked McDonald, I think, how they're playing for him. And it's working, so why change? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So attitude, and I appreciate if you get beat up next 3 games, we'll be saying you can't win, can you, with football? It's one of them. But there's also the other argument that if you leave it too long and you need to bring someone in, if McDonald turns around and says, I don't want to do it anymore, I said I wasn't going to be a long-term manager, you've got to give someone enough time, haven't you? You can't bring someone in January and expect them to get us promoted. Depending where we are in league, they need time to set in and do their thing. So yeah, it's a difficult decision. I wouldn't want to be their decision, but Ryan Sparks, whatever he does, he can't do what right, in my opinion. He'll get slagged off either way.
So 2 questions for you, Richard.
Yeah.
So first of all, would any of the players who started today, would you let them start against AFC Wimbledon? And my second question to you is, who would you like to take charge of Bradford City?
So in relation to players, then I think it's going to be interesting in training, isn't it? Because they're out on the heels now of the regulars who were playing for Hughes, and they're saying, "Well, we can match you, we can play." You know, we've gone to Grimsby and we've put in a performance against another League Two side. So to me, that's only a good thing. Good competition in squad. I don't know about specifics. I think they played well on Saturdays. Don't change it in league personally. I think it went well, and they should stick to that. But again, these people who can come off bench who've performed tonight, who have shown they've got something about them and maybe given more of an opportunity. And manager-wise, again, it's the same what I say again. I'd just keep, if I'm Ryan Sparks tonight, I'm going to put it on ice and I'm going to keep McDonald there if he wants it. We don't know the conversations he's having. He might be saying, as soon as you get someone, I want out. I don't want the responsibility, and then it's a different story. But if he's enjoying himself and it's working, keep it going a bit longer, see what happens. Like I say, you can't do no harm, and we're not paying someone silly money. And it might not be silly money, but you know what I mean. It's more wages, it's more money going out, isn't it? A team. I want to bring an assistant in. I want to bring a couple of coaches in. It's all going to cost money, and if it don't work, we're all going to be sat here in February and March whinging again, aren't we? That we're 14th and we're going nowhere.
It's that deja vu cycle, in it, where we get a manager in, everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to storm this league, we're going to smash it, bring players in," and then November time, January time, he's sacked.
I think for me, Richard, big in terms of the manager and in terms of Big Kev, I think he's too important a player for him to make a permanent move, as in like not play. And the fact that he wanted to speak. I mean, if he can do it as a player manager, then yeah, just keep with Big Kev. But I think he's he's up there with our best players, and he's so influential on the field. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I'd be, if he wanted to take it and it worked, I'd be happy for him to be City manager.
Anyone else anything to say? What are you, Rich? Do you want to add anything else?
No, I'll just finish off. It's an hard decision to make, isn't it, for a manager to, it's difficult. You got offers, again, we don't know about finances. We don't know about the money. We don't know how much people are wanting, and it's such a difficult. And again, I'm glad I'm not making that decision. But like I say, just let's keep it going and keep it ticking over. Everyone's happy. It was actually a pleasure to watch, and Saturday was a pleasure to watch, and so was tonight. I wasn't that interested, I'll be honest. I think this cup's a complete waste of time. But I thought football at times was quite good to watch. So yeah, all positive.
So if we get to Wembley, would you not be going then? Or would you go if we got to Wembley in the EFL trophy?
Good question. I don't know. It's expensive doing it. I think that would be the actual decider. Money. If money wasn't an object, yeah, you'd go for a day out, wouldn't you? But I wouldn't be struggling like you probably would for a promotion or something if that were my situation at the time. So I'll be honest, I won't be overly fussed.
Anything else to add, Stan?
No, not really. Just I think as well, just going off Richard's point as well, and in terms of like any potential managers, and you don't know what sort of money they're asking for. I agree. And also, are there any kind of assurances or anything that, whatever they might be, that somebody might want to come in and make sort of demands? It's a difficult one. I genuinely don't know who I want. I would like to see us continue in the same vein in terms of playing style of the last couple of games, and obviously combine that with winning football as well. But I wouldn't like us to change too much, just because we've got a squad that is built to play in a certain way, and there's no guarantee. Derek's football was very functional, and that's fine when you're winning, but when you're not, it's awful. So yeah, I think there's got to be somebody that's got to continue, a bit of continuation with the way we played over the last couple of games.
It's like, as a City fan, I love like what we did on Saturday. The whole team played together. Smallwood were playing like a championship player. They were passing well. The team were passing well. Were attacking. Everyone were involved. And under Mark Hughes, we didn't even see that.
I would say there were games. Some things happened over the summer, whether it was just a collective absolute from the coaches and playing staff, where it's just such a massive disappointment, and I don't feel that a lot of them have got over it. And whether that's having to pick themselves up for, kind of going off when the season was promising so much, and or whatever, and whether that's translated between a relationship with Hughes and the players, that may well be the case. But now it's like clean slate, and just there's no excuses now. We've got a good enough squad, and January, whoever comes in, January is going to be an interesting month, because do we bring in like Ryan East back? Do we bring Timmy back, or do we like Jake Young or whatever? It's difficult to say. I mean, that will depend on obviously how they kind of play between now and New Year. I mean, from what I've heard, that Ryan East is doing well at Rochdale, so I'm a big fan of his anyway. So that would be an interesting team with like East and McDonald in midfield as well. I mean, you've got options there, and you've got Gilead, you've got Smallwood, seemingly hopefully back to his sort of like his best. So yeah, I don't know really.
Anyone else got anything to say? Say last 5 minutes or so. I'm still currently outside Grimsby. Anyone else got anything? Joel, Ian, Chris, Andy, Nigel, Ben, Paul, Sam, got anything to say, guys? Any requests in? Richard or Stan, have you got any last words you want to say?
Sounds like I'm going to be on the gallows. No. I think I've pretty much said everything there, really. Good performance tonight. Good result. You can't beat winning, can you? So even if it's in the Mickey Mouse Cup. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday's game.
You got any last words, Rich? I'd say that as a new. Right. Thanks everybody for listening. And same again, wherever you're in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Thank you for listening, everybody. And remember, you could view the podcast on your podcasting services and also on YouTube. Thank you and good night.
Safe journey, John.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.